I'm in Shenandoah National Park, and this is Jenkins Gap, mile marker 12. It's up in the Northern District, and this is a real nice little parking lot here at Jenkins Gap. It's just me and one other vehicle here. There's my little red car, and over there is a concrete signpost, and it's a trailhead that takes you over to the Appalachian Trail. So for today's hike, I'm going to hit this section of the AT and hike south for a couple of miles. It's a stretch of it that I've never hiked before inside the park here. I don't know that there's going to be anything noteworthy to see, but it's a section I haven't hiked, so let's go hike it. The elevation here is 2350. Tenth of a mile into my hike, there's the road it came down on, and right here's the Appalachian Trail. That's heading north. Here's the Appalachian Trail heading south, and if you keep going on this road, it takes you down the side of the mountain all the way to the bottom. I've hiked that before, so if you look on my channel, you'll see a Jenkins Gap hike from a few years ago where I hiked that down the side of the mountain. But for today, we're just going to go ahead and head south on the Appalachian Trail. .2 miles into my hike, and this is the peak elevation for this section of the trail I'm hiking is 2,800 feet. It looks like the Appalachian Trail's been rerouted because the actual summit is up that way a little ways, maybe another 100 feet up higher, and my hiking GPS shows the old trail going actually over the top, but up there somewhere. But it's been rerouted. That's totally overgrown up there. Here's where it came from. Here's the, you can see the overgrowth here. Everywhere. Totally overgrown. And I'm going to continue southbound this way. And from here, we're gonna start descending back down to Skyline Drive. I've been looking for signs of the old trail that got closed off, and that looks like that was it right there. See that rock, big rock that's magically laying there? And then if you look up through there, you might be able to tell that it's cleared through there. Forget about the overgrowth. Just look at the trees. You can see how cleared out it is. So there's the old trail that went on up to the summit up that way. And this rock here is right where my GPS is telling me that the old trail would come back in to meet this trail. Alrighty, so let's head on southbound this way. .5 miles into my hike, I'm down to 2750, and wow, look at that area! Look at that area there. I'd love to know what used to be here. See how open that is? And the undergrowth is even different. I mean, compare that to this stuff over here. So I might mark this on the map just to see if there's anything on the older maps. .7 miles into my hike, I'm down to 2,700 feet, and this is a real curious structure here. The remains of some building. It's a fairly substantial foundation, and I don't know if you can see it back in there or not, but it's back in there too. So, and it's probably, well, 18 inches thick, made out of stone and concrete. I'm going to mark it on my GPS. Wow. I'm real curious to see what this used to be. Interesting find right here. I'm almost back to Skyline Drive. .9 miles into my hike. I'm walking along fairly level, about 2,750 feet, down near Skyline Drive. But that's not why I stopped here. What the heck is this hole in the ground over here? What is this thing? Great big hole, I don't know, 10 feet deep, and am I 20 feet across maybe? I wonder if they mined some minerals out of here once upon a time or something. I don't know, it's pretty interesting. It's kind of, I'll try and get some still pictures. It's a little hard to depict it. Two miles into my hike, and I just walked out of the woods there. Here's a Skyline Drive. That's heading south. The Appalachian Trail continues over there on the other side, goes back into the woods. Instead of going back the way I came, I think I'm just going to hike back along Skyline Drive. There's 2 overlooks between here. It's, I don't know, it's probably almost 2 miles back. But maybe I'll just walk along Skyline Drive and check out the 2 overlooks. .7 miles into my hike. I'm down to 2,420 feet. I'm almost back to my car now. This area is I'm going to call it Jenkins Gap. And right there going into the woods is the old road, Mount Marshall Road. I guess they call it Mount Marshall Trail now. If you, that heads south, roughly follows Skyline Drive, except it drops down the side of the mountain a ways. If you follow that road for about 4 miles, you'll run into the Jordan River Trail, and then you go straight down the side of the mountain to the east. Up here's Skyline Drive. That's where I came from. And I'm going to continue on down this way to the north. About another tenth of a mile or so back to my car. So in the old days, if you look at the old maps, you'll see this Mount Marshall Road came up here at Jenkins Gap, and then it went down that ways a tenth of a mile or so about to where my car's parked, and then the old road took a left and went down the west side of the mountain down that way on, I guess, what they call Jenkins Trail now. Anyway, let's head on down this way back to my car. We got one more overlook to see. This is a map of today's hike. The quadrangle name is Chester Gap, 1994, and I hiked a couple of mile stretch of the Appalachian Trail. This red line is Skyline Drive, coming down from the north, and mile marker 13 is here, and mile marker 14 is here. So when you're coming down from the north from Front Royal, you pass mile marker 12, and then you start looking for this turn off to a parking lot here, Jenkins Gap. There's 2 things here at Jenkins Gap. Off to the right, behind some trees, there's a parking lot. And then just a couple of 100 yards further south is this overlook, Jenkins Gap overlook. So what I did was I parked here at the parking lot, And then you take a real short connector trail to here, and then this puts you on the Appalachian Trail. And I basically followed the Appalachian Trail up near this summit here, and then back down to here, where it crosses Skyline Drive. Now I was going to turn around here and go back, but I changed my mind. When I got here, I changed my mind and decided to hike back along Skyline Drive. And I stopped here at Hog Wallow Flat Overlook, and I also, let's see, I stopped here to point out this road where it says Gate. That's the entrance to this old road that came up the side of the mountain. This is Marshall Mountain Road, and the park calls it a trail now. And I also stopped here at the Jenkins Gap overlook and took a few pictures. So I basically ended up hiking around in a loop. Now I didn't mark these on the map, but let's see. Right around in here somewhere is where I was pointing out that there was kind of an open area there that looked sort of different from the other areas. And then along in through here, I came across the foundation of an old structure, and then a little further south over here I noticed a great big dugout crater in the ground. I mean, it almost looked like some sort of a little mining pit or something. And that was the hike for today.